Good afternoon, everybody. Your Senior Youth Services Coordinator, Marissa here with a presentation about stigma. From Stigma to Strength, Supporting Youth with Disabilities in Advocacy. So, welcome to the presentation. Thank you for watching. The purpose of the presentation is the following: to understand what disability stigma is and where it comes from, to recognize media's influence on disability, to support youth and self-advocacy efforts, and to build allies and allyship skills to support youth with disabilities. What is stigma? Stigma are the negative beliefs or attitudes assigned to a group leading to discrimination. These can lead to stereotypes, discrimination, and shame, which all affect the individual's self-esteem and opportunities. Where stigma comes from. Stigma can come from a variety of different places, but mostly comes from cultural beliefs and myths, fear of difference, and harmful language. We will be talking in the next slides about these stigma roots, more specifically harmful language that is used in the media. So these are the media representations that I was talking about. So these are the negative tropes and terms that come along with media disability stigma. Inspiration porn. It's the objectification of people with disabilities as inspirations to people without disabilities. This means looking at somebody with a disability as inspirational due to their disability. Villainization. Villain on the screen has a disability, and writers use their condition to make them seem scarier and more intimidating. So for all of my Orange is the New Black fans, I used Suzanne. This is a character who has schizophrenia, bipolar, and autism, and they do call her things like crazy eyes and make her have these random outbursts to make her seem scary, when she is a very misunderstood character on the show, and they use her disabilities to make her look even scarier. The tragic victim. This portrays characters with disabilities as helpless, suffering, and existing primarily to evoke pity. If your mind went to Artie from Glee, that is exactly where I was going to go with this. Artie is a wheelchair user who often relies on people around him for help throughout the show, and the friends that he has in the show will often ignore what he is saying and think that they know best because he has a disability and because he is in a wheelchair. So, negative media representation. This shows individuals with disabilities that are portrayed as helpless and should be pitied, like I just said with Artie. Perpetuate ideas that people would be better off without having a disability, and the goal should be to not have a disability. Positive media representation. This is authentic casting, to prioritize disabled actors to portray individuals with disabilities. So actually having somebody with the specific disability play somebody with that specific disability in the show. Multi-dimensional characters. This means to portray characters as complex, multi-faced individuals with agency. So the person isn't just their disability, but they also do have a life outside of the disability. They are a very complex character, just like the rest of the characters. And to avoid stereotypes, avoiding pity, villainization, and generalization, which I just mentioned in the last slide. Barriers to advocacy for youth with disabilities. This comes from internalized stigma and shame, lack of accessible language and tools to discuss disability, exclusion from decision-making and leadership roles, ableism and overprotection, low expectations, and lack of understanding from adults, visible versus invisible disabilities, in mild versus severe disabilities. People will actually look at, the severity of a disability and create a stereotype. Oh, that's not that severe. Or, oh, because it's invisible, it doesn't really matter, the same as one that is visible to the human eye. So we often will create disability stigma based on what we can see and versus what we think is severe versus not severe. This will definitely create more stigma for the student, and not being able to talk about it with adults. If you're not able to talk about your disability and discuss it, and you're left out of decision-making skills, and you're not able to have the accessible language and the tools to discuss disability, that will also create some more stigma. So how do we empower these youth with disabilities? So we can role play different scenarios and situations and talking about their disability and how to get the accessible tools to teach them about their disability. We can use youth-friendly definitions. If we're speaking to youth, we should have friendly definitions that they can understand. Let's leave out the jargon. Sharing real life stories, it's always easier to connect to a certain situation if you can share a real life story or a connection. I think we all thrive on that connection and relating to situations. And to observe positive representations. If we see more positive representations in the media versus not seeing as many negative representations, I think that would definitely help stigma. Building support systems, assistance, identifying allies, helping to understand their disability, discussing accommodations like 504s, IEPs, adult supports and resources, and future planning, which is finding support in college and employment, are all helpful in helping a youth gain and build a support system. When you get a youth prepared to discuss different accommodations and you teach them about these accommodations and 504s and IEPs and what support systems they have around, they will be ready to access it anytime that they need it. And if they understand their disability, they will be able to explain and teach to the community and those around them about their disability. When you get a youth prepared with future planning and finding support, they will feel ready and they will know that they have the support system. What does being an ally mean? So this is how you can be an ally. These are the core principles of being an ally. Listen first, challenge stigma, promote accessibility, support self-advocacy, strength-based approach, involve youth in planning and leadership, encourage peer mentoring, use preferred language, and share disability culture and role models. When you become an ally, the youth will feel supported around you, and they will know that you are an ally and they can come to you, trust you, and feel supported in the environment around you. So let's turn the stigma into strength. Let's get involved in the community. Share youth advocacy successes, encourage self-advocacy among youth with disabilities, use positive media representations, and reframe disability as diversity, not deficiency. Would you like to learn more about this or any other topic? You can check us out. We are located at 765 Addicks Lane in Hyannis, Mass. Our phone number is 508-775-8300. You can visit us on the web at www.cordcapecod.org. And we can also be found on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching my video. I hope this helped, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.